Hi, my name's Peggy. I'm originally from Central Illinois, moved here to Dolega. Welcome to my Panamanian cottage. I'm glad you could make it. The reason we moved to Panama, and my husband did move with me 3 years ago, is we were ready to retire, kick back, see a little bit different part of the world. He took it upon himself to check out where we were going to move. He chose Panama. I got things ready. And he made an amazing choice. Why would anybody move to Dolega? Because we found this property. We fell absolutely in love with this piece of property. Found it on the last day we were here with Jackie's tour. It was posted on a bulletin board somewhere, made a call, and on the way to the airport to catch our plane back home, we stopped and saw it. I stood in the kitchen. I said, John, I want this house, and he bought it for me. And there's no looking back. My husband passed away about a year and a half ago, so he only got to enjoy Panama for a year and a half. He was suffering from cancer. I asked him if he wanted to go back to the States to deal with his cancer, and he said absolutely no way was he leaving Panama. He went through the Cancer Treatment Center in Panama City, which was absolutely fabulous. 10 days, all the medication and treatment he could get for $762. Kind of different from what we see in the States. Some of the things I've found here in Dolega that I love, oh my gosh, I got it all. I have the best auto mechanic right here in town. I have a day worker who will do anything I ask him to whenever I need him, including showing up to run an errand for me when I don't want to drive in the car myself. I do let him take my car. I trust him explicitly with everything that's here. It's a very safe neighborhood. I have an electrician who lives about 6 minutes up the road. For $20, he'll be here as soon as he can. I have a computer tech that lives 6 minutes up the road. He will come to my house and do whatever I need for $20 a trip. I have a furniture maker who has made the furniture I haven't been able to find. Does a superb job. I have a lovely bookcase end table that he just delivered this past week for $68. I have found everything here in Dolega. I don't do a lot of shopping here. I do go into David for most of my major shopping, but there is a fabulous vegetable and fruit stand in town, fresh. If I get there in the morning, my lettuce stem is still damp from having just been cut. I do buy my drugs, my prescriptions here in Dolega. Story about my pharmacy. I went there to get 3 prescriptions filled, and I forgot one of the containers, and I didn't remember the name, and I said, that's okay, I'll come back later. And she went to the back room, and she came back, and she holds up a package, and she says, is this what you're looking for? And I went, yeah, how did you know? She says, you're my client, that's my job. I can't imagine getting that type of service where we used to live. I have had my kitchen remodeled. Everything is here that I need, and people are friendly. I know all my neighbors. I have people that show up for coffee in the morning, and I love coffee time as long as they don't mind I'm still in my nightgown. I do put a house dress on. It's just a great community to live in. My day worker, when my husband passed away, his family was extremely concerned about my welfare and was I eating correctly in the middle of COVID when the family had no income because everything was shut down. And the family is not rich to begin with. They started bringing me 2 meals a day off of their table, prepared by their mother. For 6 months they did this. I tried to explain to them, I have food, I can, it's just hard to eat alone. They said, nope, Mom says there's always enough for one more mouth. And it warmed my heart. They have humongous hearts in Panama. I love the culture. They are absolutely good people. And it may be a little bit different in a bigger city. In this area, that's the way it is. I live in the country. A friend of mine calls this cowboy town. They're right, but it's a good town. I also have a friend who has a ranch here. He manages a ranch, and if I ask him on Sundays to bring a horse to my gate, he will take me out in the countryside and take me horseback riding beautiful countryside. My husband and I discussed where I would live before he passed. It was a surprise that he passed so quickly, but not a surprise that he did pass. There was no consideration given to moving anywhere else. Our hearts are here. His heart is still here, and I'm not leaving it. The one thing, if I were to give anybody any advice, if they were thinking about moving to Panama or any place else for that matter, be open-minded. Don't come thinking you're going to change things. Panamanians do things a certain way because they have been successful in doing it that way for many years before I was born and probably many years after I leave. Don't assume that you know a better way. Ask questions. Why do you do it that way? Maybe you do have a good idea, but a lot of times I think of the person that told me they were going to move here to help Panama with their water system because their pipes are plastic and above ground. They didn't think about the fact that there's rock out there. And even if you do get the pipe buried, it springs a leak. You got to get back to it. There's a reason it is the way it is. You don't walk into somebody's kitchen and rearrange their cupboards. So be cautious. Don't be judgmental. And it does irritate me when people criticize people in Panama. They're a lovely culture with hearts as big as gold. When I moved to Panama, I had had 8 years of Spanish 50 years ago. If my Spanish teacher could hear my Spanish now, he would have a fit. My conjugation of verbs is terrible. I cannot tell you why I remember one word that I probably will never use and a word that is commonplace. You can get by without Spanish. It is much better to learn some Spanish. It shows respect for your hosts, and it will make life a lot easier. And Google Translate works, but it's slow. There's something about the human contact. So don't worry about making mistakes. Give people permission to correct you if that's important to you. If it's not, just ignore the mistakes and move on. Things I enjoy doing in Panama. I love to garden. I used to garden in the States. I've had to relearn gardening. Just because you see something 20 minutes up the road that's beautiful and catches your eye doesn't mean it's going to grow here. So I've made a lot of mistakes, but they can be redone. I dig stuff up and start over again. Keeps me off the streets. I also enjoy the beach, and I try and make it to the beach at least once a month. I'd like to do it twice a month, but things get in the way. I do have a group of friends here in Dolega, and it extends to also Volcan and Boquete. In fact, we had a ladies' luncheon here this past Saturday. It was awesome. I enjoy my pets. I read a lot. Cost of living here in Dolega is rather unique. I live in an area called Dos Rios. We pay our water bill once a year. If you want to pay it monthly, it's $3 a month. If you want to pay it once a year at the beginning of the year, it's $30 a year. If you are old like I am, you get a little bit extra, and it costs me $26 a year for all the water I can use. My electric bill runs about $50 to $60 a month. I do not run air conditioning except at night. And I usually forget to turn my outdoor lights off, so they're on all the time. My cable and internet are combined. I spend $60 a month on that. It's very inexpensive living. I may spend I spend more on food because I like to eat, and there are some good places to shop for food here. I do once every 2 months. I do the trip to Price Mart, which is your big store. Otherwise, I go to the regular supermarkets in David. I like Super Brew, I like City Mall, and I like Ray. I know the biggest complaint about Dolega is that it's hot, and it is warm here. I've adjusted. It doesn't bother me. I worry more about my Brittany Spaniel, who's a hunting dog. I give her a little more air conditioning than the rest of us. But I have adjusted to the temperature when it gets. The neat part is, especially during the rainy season, I get 2 mornings. The temperature is nice and cool in the morning. It starts to climb. We get to the rain. It drops again. I get a second morning. It climbs up. It drops again in the evening. I love the fact that I get 2 morning airs each day. And I love company. Anybody wants to stop by, ring my doorbell. Another piece of advice for an expat is ask your host country citizens questions about their lives, what they like, what they don't like, what impresses them. Believe it or not, they're not real interested in all the problems that you manage to pack with you and bring with you from the States. Don't bring your problems. Come with an open mind and a big heart. You can find anything you want here in Panama. Speaking of packing, pack what's important to you. Do not let someone tell you, you should bring this, you should bring that. You can find it all here. It's what you need to have with you from your old home. And a lot of that's sentimentality. It isn't practical. I brought a meat fork with me because it was my mother-in-law's, and has a story that goes with it. And there are meat forks here. The fact that I packed a meat fork is rather ridiculous, but it's important to me. The services we've received are majority from Cherokee Hospital. Very, very reputable, very clean, very amazing facility. We've been fortunate in that we were able to have services from people who spoke excellent English. We were amazed. My husband went in for a sonogram, and you have to pay for the service at the time you get it. You're not going to get a bill in the mail. It was $75 for a sonogram. The doctor said, I don't know why you guys charge so much in the States for this service. He said, I do 10 of these. I've paid for the computer and the program. They have to pay me whether I do this service or not because I'm at the hospital. We were shocked. I think we had a blood test there for $1. Now, Cherokee is the more expensive hospital in the area, but we were checked in. We were using their services. I have also gotten, my glasses came for Cherokee Optical. Don't they look good? I have a doctor who lives 15 minutes from here, and she too speaks superb English, is very thorough. I love her. She's a young woman with an amazing family. I've met her children and her husband, and a nurse that is spectacular. But Dr. Alma does speak English, and she is extremely thorough. She made 4 trips to my home the night my husband died in this house. She was right here with me. And without Dr. Alma and my friend Carolina from Discover Panama, I was able to go through all the paperwork and the process that was needed when you experience a death in the family. Those 2 people held one had each hand and walked me through everything. And I thank God for them every single day. They're good people.
Good morning. I'm Rick Johnson, and I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, and I live in El Francis, right outside Dolega, Panama, and have now for 8 months. Well, when I first got here back in January of this year, I landed in Boquete, and Boquete was an excellent place for me to land. I met some people, got involved with the community, and it really made it very comfortable for me to make this transition. The longer I stayed in Boquete, I knew I wanted something more. I came to Panama to be in Panama. And Boquete is great and everything, and it's a great expat community, but I wanted to be and live where the Panamanians live. And as it so may be, I ended up marrying a Panamanian woman, and we moved to her house right outside Dolega, and it's been great ever since. In Boquete, there's probably about 75 or 80 restaurants, so you can pick and choose, and they're all great. But being in Dolega is about halfway distance between Boquete and David, and it gives me the best of both worlds. I don't get the everyday traffic as Boquete has, and I can get out and still be equal distance from Boquete and David, 15, 20 minutes each way, and allows me to really experience the whole Panama culture. There's great restaurants in David. We went to one the other day, Boca Chicas. I think a lot of people have been there, and we enjoy that quite a bit. And there's a place called Smoking King that literally is my favorite. I mean, they have a great lunch special there, and I really take advantage of that. So the restaurants here and the bakeries, there's a little bit of a hit and miss here because I have to miss it because here, but I always hit it. So anyway, the grocery stores and the hardware stores in Boquete are really kind of catered to the expat community. In Dolega, the grocery stores, because of the more Panamanians than they are expats, kind of cater to the Panamanians with the different foods they use and the prices, and it's just different shopping there, and I enjoy both worlds. I mean, I can step in here and I can step over there and be comfortable in both, and that's really what I was looking for when I moved to Panama, just to really embrace the whole culture that Panama has to offer. And its people are incredible. I love the people here. It's incredible. I think there's like 11 temperate zones between Boquete and David, and I've experienced all 11 of them. And sometimes there'll be rain there and not here. It's a little bit warmer than in Boquete, but it's not as hot as David. It's really, like I said, the best of both worlds because I don't get the traffic, I don't get the heat that I would get in either one of those two places by living here. So this affords me the opportunity to really enjoy it more, I think. People, expats that come here, the vast majority of them want to be other expats. They feel more comfortable, the language, and it's just different things. So the misconception may arise from the fact that they can't get around, they can't speak the language, that they feel lost. And I too heard those same kinds of things, but I gotta tell you, I don't feel that way. Again, I'm married to a Panamanian, and I'm trying to learn a little more Spanish than what I know, but it gives me the opportunity to do so, more so if I lived in Boquete, where I would be exposed to so many expats, which I would not be able to speak Spanish with. So it's kind of forcing my hand a little bit, and that's a good force. I want to do this. Really, if you want to experience Panama and its people and its culture, everything it has to offer, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Just recently, my wife celebrated her 50th birthday, and we had a ball here. We had probably close to 50 people, and there were a mix of about 25 Panamanians and 25 gringos, and it was a great cultural exchange of ideas and people. It was great, and we have several barbecues here. I mean, you may look around the place; it's pretty good size, and it has a good yard. Where Sundays here, now I will tell you, Sundays here are family days, and my wife has a large family, so that's why I have 2 grills over here. So in order we have that barbecue, 2 grills have to be going because Panamanians like to eat. So anyway, we have a good time, and normally we get together just about every Sunday to have some kind of family get together, and I really, really enjoy that. I play cards. I play Spanish cards with these guys, and I think they take advantage of me. But last night we played and I won for a change. But it's so much fun. I'm learning more about my wife and about Panama every single day, and it's probably it does reinforce every single day I made a good decision by coming here. I did a video when I first got here. I was here about a week, and I did a video, and she saw that video and sent me a message. And I responded back and asked her to meet me at one of the nicest restaurants, really good food, Big Daddy's down in Boquete. And I was there early, and as she walked around the corner, I saw her, and I knew. Get a knife and fork, I'm done. That was back in March. We got married in April 27th, and we'll get married every day. If I look back at me a year ago, and what I even thought my life would be like it is today, is no way possible. I met a fine woman. I love it here. I got great friends here. Great friends. I'm really blessed by that. And, every day is a new chapter. I said in my first video that one of the things that really I took notice of was the plants here, the trees, the flowers, the birds. Now, I'm 66 years old. I've never done any of that stuff. But I look at them today. We got a hummingbird feeder up here, and that's kind of cool, watch them feed. But look, if you look around, this whole yard is nothing but plants and flowers and trees. And I take great comfort coming out here in the morning or in the evening sometimes and just looking at, the beauty here. We have a little stream behind us, and when it rains, that stream fills up pretty quickly and it moves pretty fast. And so it's great to come out here and have a cup of coffee and just listen to it and watch it. If anybody's planning on moving here, I would highly encourage they get involved with Jackie and her team, because it makes the transition very easy, a lot more smoother, and it gives you comfort. And she's with you all along the way. You have questions, she'll get the answer for you. And I know everybody gets a little apprehensive when they make a move like this, but it's worth it. It really is. Don't be scared. Get out the box and have somebody help you along the way, and Jackie will. I have 3 grown children. I have 3 grandchildren, and I do miss them. I talked to them last night, but one of them is going to be visiting me the first of the year. They understand it's Dad's time. I was the son, I was the father. Now it's my time, and they fully understand that. There's a heck of a lot to do here, from visiting waterfalls, taking a hike, going fishing, which I love, going on tours to local beaches. It's all right within your grasp. Give or take, 30 minutes, an hour, and you can be in so many different places. And it has so much to offer. I'm retired. It's my time, as I said earlier. And I want to go to the beach. Matter of fact, we're going to the beach tomorrow with another couple, and we're going to spend almost all day at the beach. We're going to take one of the smaller grills, and we're going to grill out there. And it's maybe 45 minutes from here. And it's just never ending on things to do and see. And so that's one of the things that pulled me toward Panama. The other day, we were just driving around, and we came across a waterfall. And so we stopped and took some pictures and got involved. And actually, my wife waded in the waterfall. The water's pretty cold. But it's just, like I said earlier, we don't plan anything. We just get in the car and we go. And invariably, we'll find something that interests us, and we'll stop and take advantage of it. And one of the things I do like, as we're going about, there's these little fondas, these little places where you can get some Panamanian food for lunch. It's like $4 or $5, and it's a good lunch too. So when I see one of those, I'm making me a right turn, and I'm taking advantage of it and getting some Panamanian food, and very inexpensive, and on our way. Like I said earlier, we just get in the car, we go, and we find, and that's kind of cool.